Hello everybody, welcome to the 5-Minute Programmer. Today we'll talk about computer fundamentals, the things that you need to know about computers before you write code. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll set our timer. As you know, we try to complete our topics within 5 minutes or less. So we'll start out with what is a computer? Well, it's really just a machine and it only does what it's programmed to do. Sometimes people think it is some kind of a being and it has a brain, but it doesn't have any magic by itself. You may be familiar with a desktop computer, a laptop computer, but there's other things that you may not think of as computers. A game console, for example, or even that smartphone that you have. These are all computers and they all have the basic same parts, and they all have to be programmed, and programming is what makes the computer appear magical. So what are some of the parts of the computer? Now, we're not going to go into a lot of details about the hardware, but it's important that we talk about certain parts of it because these are the parts that we will actually use when we're writing a program. So first of all, there's the central processing unit. Now, the central processing unit is often thought of or talked about as the brain of the computer, but a computer doesn't have a brain. It's not a living creature. So the central processing unit is a very complex, wonderful machine that can perform calculations and perform instructions that we tell it to. This is the thing that actually executes the program. There's also input devices, keyboards and mice. We also have a screen that'll show us what's going on in our program. Finally, we have storage. Some can be on the computer, some can be in a hard drive, some could be in a memory card that you took out of the computer. Now, we will be interacting with all of these. We'll mainly be interacting with the input and output devices. But it's important to remember what that central processing unit really does and what it's for. So let's talk about that. How do we tell the computer what to do? Well, we have this central processing unit, or CPU, and inside of it we can give it instructions and it will execute those instructions and do certain things. So an instruction might look something like this. And you might ask, well, wait a minute, that doesn't look like anything I understand. It's a bunch of zeros and ones. Well, that's because that's what the CPU understands. It only understands zeros and ones. That's how we actually provide instructions to the computer. It's through zeros and ones, or binary, or base 2. We give that instruction to the computer, to the CPU. The CPU then executes that, and it does something. But that something that it does is usually something pretty simple. And in this case, maybe it just stores a value. Now, that's not a real instruction. I just made that up just to give you an idea of what this does. So programming is creating the instructions and the order of instructions to make wonderful things happen. And a program is made up of many instructions. These instructions that you see on the screen here are very simple. It could take millions of them to create a program like a video game. So the program then is made up of many instructions, and the CPU is going to sit there and execute those one at a time. Very, very quickly. Some computers have more than one CPU, and each of those CPUs can be processing those instructions at the same time. Now, we will not be writing our programs in binary. We'll actually use a higher level language, and it will get turned into binary for us. So we don't have to worry about that part. So let's wrap it up. We're about out of time here. There are many computers around us, in your car, even your refrigerator. They power the world, and being able to program them allows you to create magic. They really are simple machines. They understand zeros and ones, that's all. And there's many parts of the computer that we're interested in as programmers: CPU, input devices, output devices, and storage. Finally, a program's a set of simple instructions that make that magic happen. So that's all we want to talk about today about the computer. That's a real brief introduction. You can learn a lot more about computers if you'd like to, but this is what we need to know to get started in programming. Again, this is the 5-Minute Programmer. You can visit us on our Facebook page or on our blog. Thanks. See you next time.